me, Teacher Penny Davis, and I have a website called HelloPennyDavis.com, and I also have a Facebook group, a couple of Facebook groups. VIPKid Teachers Wanted is for those that are getting hired, and VIPKid Teachers Hired is for those that are already hired and looking for support in your journey with VIPKid. I have been a teacher with VIPKid since August of 2017, so almost 3 years now. I've taught 3,400 classes or something like that. Helped a lot of people get hired. I won a trip to Beijing last August, which was amazing. And so I've been around VIPKid for a while, and I wanted to bring you this video to help you, because I know that we're all kind of frustrated right now and wondering, trying to figure out this big announcement that was made yesterday for us, for when I'm making this video. It's right at the end of May of 2020, about moving all of the teachers to the new tiered incentive program. Now, in case this took you by surprise, it really shouldn't have. VIPKid announced back in December, middle of December or so, that they were moving new teachers to anyone that was being hired after December 26th of 2019. They were moving them to this new tiered incentive program. And they said at the time, there are no plans to move veteran teachers to this new tiered program yet. Okay, that really should have clued you into it was coming. Okay, it was coming. All right, but they weren't there yet. Okay, it has now come out here in May that they are moving us to the new tiered incentive program as of August 1st. Now, I'm going to go through and explain here in our video. I'm going to explain what the tiered system is, and then explain when you will switch over, because it is not just an automatic switch as of August 1st. Okay, it's a little bit different than that. So let me go through there and explain the whole system, and then we'll talk about when you personally are going to switch to that new system. Okay, now this new tiered system eliminates what we are used to getting. We are used to getting those $2 for the $1 for the participation bonus, and then the finished class bonus was 50 cents for classes 30. If you got at least 30 classes, you got 50 cents, and then if you got 45 classes in a month, you got that $1 bonus. So I'm basing this on someone who is used to getting those $2 for your incentives on that. This is kind of where we're kind of referring to with all of this. So we are used to getting those $2 bonuses each time. I've gotten those $2 in bonus, I think every month except my very first month, because my very first month I started right at the end of August, and so I only taught like 12 classes my first month. Every month since then, I have gotten the $2 in those incentives. But the new incentive program, the new tiered program, eliminates both of those bonuses, and it replaces them with the tiered incentive. And your incentive amount that you're going to receive changes depending on what tier you're in. So let's look at how that works. Okay, so your tier is based on how many classes that you've taught with VIPKid since you first started with VIPKid. Now, to figure that out, go into your phone app and then click on Account in the bottom right corner, and then click on Insights. That will tell you how many classes that you've taught. I believe that is an accurate number now. For a little while, it was not including supplemental classes and all that, but I think they have changed it now where it includes all of your classes. So all supplementals. I'm not sure about no-shows, the student no-shows. I'm not sure if that's included in there. Anyway, but that's at least a good place to start with to figure out what tier number you're going to be on. If you want a completely accurate number of how many classes you've taught since you started, you're going to need to send in a ticket to ask about that. Okay. Now, the tiers are based on how many classes that you've taught. And this over here, you see here, it will show you what tier number you're in. So if you have taught 1 to 79 tech classes, so brand new teacher, you would be considered in tier 1. then classes 80 through 199, tier 2, classes 200 to 399, tier 3, and so on and so forth, all the way down to tier 10, which is 10,000 classes. Now, if you, let's say you cross one of those thresholds, so let's just give a good example. In June, you teach, you finish up the month of June, and you are a tier 3 teacher. So you taught somewhere between 200 and 399 classes. Well, while you're in June, you taught a whole bunch of classes, and now you're at 420 classes, just for an example, okay? And so in June, you would stay in that tier 3, but then in July, when you start a new month, that's when you would move to tier 4. So you don't switch tiers in the middle of the month. At the next month, the following month, you would move to the next tier. Okay, now, so these are the tier numbers that you are in. Just to give you an idea, I'm going to give you my exact numbers and everything here. I've taught 3,400 classes. I think Friday, actually, I taught my 3400th class. So I'm considered a tier 7 teacher, and I'll be in tier 7 for another 1,100 classes or so. So I'll be there for a little while. Okay, so I'm a tier 7 teacher is where I am considered. Now, this is the chart that was released yesterday for everyone to see. If you are looking for that chart, if you will go and let me find it exactly. If you are looking for that chart, go to the portal, click on support. Okay, then click on payment, and then at the bottom of the list on the left side, it says new service fee structure, and then click on the very first question. It says, what is the new service fee structure? You can find that chart on your own portal. You can also find it on my website, hellopennydavis.com. Okay, so go look for that, and you can find this chart. I know it's kind of hard to see here in the video. I'm going to break it down so you can see it a little bit better in the next slides. Okay, but this is the chart that you see, and according to this chart, the numbers over on the left side, that just tells you what tier number you're in. So it goes through all those different things that I just showed you on the previous slide and shows you what tier number that you're in. And then all the numbers over on the right side of that table are how much your incentive will be per class, depending on how many classes you teach per month. Now, this is where the confusion comes in. And when this was first introduced back in December for new teachers, I really looked at it for a long time trying to figure out what exactly it was. We are used to seeing with that finished class bonus, we're used to going, oh, okay, once I hit 45 classes, I get that $1 incentive for all the classes that month. So when we first looked at this and we said, hey, we're now going to get this this incentive for all the classes my month. Once I hit that highest number, whatever my highest number is, that's the incentive I'm going to get for all my classes that month. That's not the way it works, okay, y'all. It's what they call a cumulative system, I guess is the best way to describe it. So let me walk you through and show you what that actually means, okay? Let me just give you an example of a tier 1 teacher. I'm used to talking to beginning teachers about this, so let me just give you an example of this tier 1. Okay, in tier 1, the first 20 classes that you teach in any one particular month, you would get 80 cents for that incentive. So class 1 through 20, you get your base pay. We're going to talk about base pay in just a little bit, okay? You get your base pay plus 80 cents. That's it, okay? You don't get the $1 participation, the $1 incentive, finished class pay. 80 cents, that's it. For those first 20 classes, you get your base pay plus 80 cents. Then classes 21 through 40 in that same month, you would get your base pay plus $1.20. Then for classes 41 through 60, you get the base pay plus $1.60, and then it keeps on moving up according to all these numbers that you see over here. So for each month, you get that amount for those classes, but it doesn't go back like when you hit, let's say you teach 100 classes a month, and so you're over here in this 91 to 130 classes section, and you see the incentive is $1.90. It's not that you get $1.90 for all those classes. You only get $1.90 incentive for classes 91 through 130. You get the lower amounts for all of those classes up above. Okay, so that's as much of the incentive as you get, and so it is, y'all, for almost everyone. I'm going to be real honest, it's a pay cut. Okay, we're going to look a little bit more specifically about it in a minute, but this is tier 1. If you are, let's say, a tier 4 teacher, you can see that those incentive amounts in the higher number, 61 to 90, 91 to 30, see those amounts go up. Okay, so it's now, with 61 to 90 classes, it's $1.80 incentive. Well, now look, we're over that $2 amount. So as a tier 4 teacher, you've got the opportunity to make more than $2 incentive, which, hey, you think that's better than it was. But in the balance of where you got much less for those first 80, 90 classes, it takes a lot of these classes with the higher number to average out to end up more than that $2 that we are used to getting. Okay, so tier 4, those numbers go up, their incentive amounts go up. Tier 7, this is where I am. So tier 7, my incentive amounts are even higher with that one. And then it goes all the way up to tier 10. And tier 10, those incentive amounts are really pretty good. Okay, so, but this is, let me give you a couple of examples to show you exactly how this works in case this is still a little confusing for you. Okay, so let's take an example of a tier 1 teacher. They are making $7.50 for their base pay. I will give you a clue. Every new teacher for the past several months has been given the offer of $7.50 base pay. No one is coming in any higher than that. So even if they have advanced degrees and all this experience and ESL certification and do a great job on their interview and everything, they're still being offered $7.50 base pay. Every single one of them. Okay, so this is where they're starting all new teachers. Let's give an example of a teacher that's a tier 1 teacher. They're teaching 72 classes this month. Okay, so in this example, the classes 1 through 20, they're making that 80-cent incentive, so that's $8.30 per class. They teach 20 classes that month, so they end up making, for those first 20 classes, $166. Then they teach 20 classes 21 through 40. Now they're getting a little bit more with that incentive. They're getting $1.20 incentive. So those classes, they're making $8.70 per class times 20 classes, that's $174. Then classes 41 through 60, they're making $1.60 incentive, and then it moves up and up from there. So with this person, they taught 72 classes this month, and they ended up with a total of $632.40 with an average, averaging out all those different amounts for all the different classes, an average of $8.78 per class, or $17.56 an hour. Okay, now if you look at the incentive amount, their average incentive is only $1.28 is their average incentive for that one. Now let's look at example number 2. This would be me. This is tier 7. Okay, so I'm a tier 7 teacher. I now make $9 for my base pay because I've been around for a little while. I've gotten those base rate adjustments. Again, we're going to talk about base rate adjustments here in a little bit. So I'm making $9 for my base pay, and let's say I teach 130 classes. That's what I normally teach per month, is about 130 classes. So you can follow along with the chart here, and you can see those incentives and the amounts that I make for each one of those classes, and it ends up with a grand total. If I teach 130 classes, it ends up a grand total of $1,397 per month, and then that is an average of $10.74 per class. That's an average incentive of $1.74, less than that $2 that we are used to making. So it's kind of frustrating, okay? You can see here the old incentive. If we were still under the old incentive, I would have made $1,430 that month. Now, I want you to look at this in reality. That's only $33 difference, okay? Just $33. So it's not a huge amount of difference, but it's still disappointing. And I'm going to be real honest with you. It's disappointing that it's cutting our pay, okay? Unless you are a higher level teacher and teaching a whole bunch of classes per month, it's going to be less, okay? Now, let me show you an example of that. Let's say that, still same thing, tier 7 teacher making $9 base pay, still me. If I decided I wanted to kick it in there and I wanted to teach more classes, 200 classes a month, here is my example of what I would make for a grand total of $2,225, because I've got more classes up here in these higher incentive levels. Then now I'm going to make an average of $11.13 per class. My average incentive is $2.13. So under the old incentive program, I would have made $2,200. Under the new incentive program, I would make $2,225. So just a $25 difference there. So, again, it's not a huge amount. It's just a little bit. So it's not that they're cutting everything a huge amount, but yes, I understand every little penny counts. I get that. Okay, my family struggles too. So I get that every little penny counts there. But what someone else figured out, this is not my math, so I'm not I'm not saying that this is exactly accurate. This is what somebody else figured out, but I know it's pretty close, okay? If you want to make the average of the $2 incentive more, this is how many classes you need to teach in order to make an average of $2 more per month, okay? So you would need to, as a tier 1 teacher, you'd need to teach 790 classes per month. Yeah, okay, that's not reality, but anyway, that's what you need as a tier 1 teacher. But you look farther down there, and the higher your tier level is, the less classes that you need to teach per month in order to break even, okay? So like as a tier 7 teacher, I would have to teach 183 classes per month in order to average out to $2 of that incentive. If I were a tier 10 teacher, I would have to average 162 classes. I would have to teach at least 162 classes to just stay the same of where I am right now. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you, how that works. Okay, for most of us that teach 70, 80, 90, 100, 120 classes a month, something like that, we're going to see just a slight cut in that. Okay, and that you have to decide what that means for you. Okay, I'm just going to leave it there. You got to decide what that means for you. Now let's talk about this date and what this means. Okay, August 1st, 2020 is the date that they have said all of these changes are going to take place. Okay, and now that does not mean that they are switching everybody to this new incentive program on August 1st. That is not the case. Okay, you only switch over when you start a new contract in that new time frame. Okay, so when they start, this is August 1st is when they're going to start issuing the new contracts with the new tiered incentive program. Okay, if you renew with a starting date of before August 20th, so let's say that we're right here at the beginning of June, so let's say that your contract is going to be up and you would sign a new contract that would start July 1st. Okay, so here in just a couple of days, your new contract is going to hit your portal, and you will be able to sign that. It will still be under the old incentive program. Okay, so if you have a contract that is going to renew and the starting date is before August 1st, which July 1st would be the only one that one would affect, then it's still going to be, you're still going to get, for that next contract, you're still going to be under that old incentive program. Okay, if your new contract is dated as of August the 1st, 2020, you're going to be in the new tiered incentive program. Okay, you do not move to this new tiered incentive program until you sign your new contract. Okay, so like my contract is up for renewal. It will be up for renewal as of September 1st. So in August, I will be able to sign a new contract, and that new contract will include this new tiered system. But I'm not going to switch to that until the new contract actually starts on September 1st. Okay, so you do not move to that new tiered system until your new contract is in date. Okay, now then the next thing is there's a whole bunch of questions about the base rate adjustment. First off, they are not changing your base rate. Okay, I am at $9 for my base rate, and that $9 is going to stay there. Okay, however, if I'm going to be signing my 7th contract. Okay, so in August I will sign my 7th contract that will start September 1st. It is, if you are about to sign an odd numbered contract where you would have normally gotten that 50-cent base rate adjustment, if you meet all the qualifications, and all those qualifications are, you got to teach, what is it, 1,200 classes a month, 600 or 1,200 classes a month, 1,200 classes in the past 12 months, 600 of those have to be primetime classes, peak, that's what I meant, peak, okay? And then you've got to have the 25% feedback, and you've got to have very few no-shows and cancellations and all that, okay? If you meet all the qualifications for that base rate adjustment, then you are going to get your next base rate adjustment, okay? So that next contract that you get, if it is the odd numbered contract, you will still have the opportunity to get that base rate adjustment, okay? Now, if you sign, here's the cool thing, if you sign a new contract in June or July, and it's the even numbered contract, because you would still be under the old system, then you would have a chance to get that base rate adjustment at the end of that one. So if you sign in June, I guess would that be? That would be it would go through June through December. So if you, or July through January or whatever, you would have one more chance to get that base rate adjustment. Okay, so you've got that one last chance. Or if you're in the correct contract, see what it is we're under contract with them now in this system and at this base rate. And so they have to honor that for the rest of our contract that we're under now. The new contracts are when the new system rolls out there, okay? Now, after this time, when you start this new contract that's under the new system, whenever that might be, that's when your base rate is stuck, okay? As of this system, there is no way to get any kind of raise on that base rate, okay, as they have it now. The only way to make more money in this system is to move to a higher tier by teaching more classes, and then teach more classes per month. Okay, so, and I don't think I really clarified this, but each month you start over again. Okay, on that tiered thing. You stay at the same tier level, but the incentive amount, you go back to the 0 through 20 classes and all that. Okay, I hope that's clear. All right, so so the only way to get higher pay, to only get higher salary, is to either to move to a higher tier or to teach more classes in any one particular month. Okay. All right, last couple of things. There was no mention in the announcement about any changes as far as short notice bookings, trial class rewards, the bonus that we get for that, or recruiting. All of that, it appears, is staying the same. Okay, so that's good. And then again, just a reminder that we are still independent contractors. They do not withhold any taxes. You file as self-employed at the end of the year. We, again, can still be paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly with that. Okay, I hope this has cleared up more information for you, and that you're understanding this new tiered system. Again, it's for most of us, unless we teach a lot of classes per month, for most of us it's going to end up being just slightly less money, but not a huge amount. Okay, it averages out. It's gonna, if you teach, I guess if you teach a really small amount, like, like the 30, 40 per month, then it's going to be more significant for you. But for those that are teaching in the 90, 100, 120 range, something like that, it's just going to be a small amount less. Okay. So it stinks, but the company has to maintain their bottom line too. And in an economy like it is right now, they've got to maintain that bottom line, and they've got to make a profit. And honestly, VIPKid has never made a profit. I was seeing some posts the other day that said that they have not pulled a profit, and so they are having a tough time getting financing for everything because they've never actually turned a profit. They're barely surviving with this. So we've got to help them too. We've got to help them to make the money that they need to make. And you know that the only way to make money in a company is to cut expenses and to raise prices. And so there's that delicate balance there. From a business standpoint, I get it. Okay, I get that we are probably there. Well, not probably, we are. Paying the teachers is the biggest expense that they have. And so if they can cut some of that expense, it makes sense to them. And, how do I say this nicely? It's easier to hire a new teacher that will do the work for less than we're making, okay? And so that's just kind of the reality of the situation. They will work for less than they would have to pay us. And so I know that's frustrating to you. It's frustrating to me as well. Okay, but it's still a pretty good job. Okay, even as a beginning teacher, it's still a pretty good job to be making $18, $19 per hour. By the time you add those incentives in, that's what most new teachers even are making. It's still a pretty good job to work from home in your pajama pants. Okay, and to schedule your own schedule and everything. If this still works for your family, for the schedule for your family, then stick with it. And who knows what the future will bring from there. Okay, if this has been a help to you, I would appreciate you giving me a like and a subscribe here on YouTube. If you're looking for a support system for VIPKid, take a look at my website. It's got a lot of stuff for hired teachers, and then also our Facebook group, VIPKid Teachers Hired. Be sure and join that group. Thanks so much for Thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate it. And if you've got questions, you can leave a comment here, or you can find me on Facebook. Okay, thanks. Bye.